Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. My name is Manuel Gea, and I will be your moderator for the session. I am responsible for communications at Optare Solutions. And today we will be exploring the biggest challenges in the FTTH wholesale market and how operators can overcome them. We will look at real-world solutions, the role of TMF ODA architecture, and a success story from Adamo, followed, of course, by the key takeaways and a Q&A session at the end, which, by the way, you can now start asking your questions in the dedicated tab below. And as I said, we get to them at the end of the session. Also, just as a quick note, the webinar is being recorded, and you will receive the video file along with the detailed case study that expands today's discussion after the event. But before we get into that, let's introduce today's speakers. We have Luis Alves, Business Development Director at Optare Solutions. Also from Optare Solutions, Vítor Fernández, Senior Software Architect. And coming from Adamo, we have Màxim Triay, Head of Wholesale IT. Thank you so much for being here with us. And to kick things off, I'll hand it over to Luis Alves, who will walk us through the key challenges that FTTH wholesale operators are facing today. Luis, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Manuel, for the introduction. And I would like also to thank Màxim as our representative from Adamo here. Thank you for joining this webinar. And of course, all the attendees that have come all over the world to hear from us about the challenges of the FTTH wholesale market. So if you go to the next slide, please. We will talk today about the challenges or the main challenges for FTTH wholesale companies. And maybe right now you are thinking, okay, there is a lot of different challenges that I face every single day. Or maybe that you are thinking that, okay, but my challenges are not the same as my competitors, or maybe as similar companies from other countries. And probably that is the truth, no? But over the last 11 years, we have been in an amazing journey with some of our clients, and we have shared with them different challenges in the development of the FTTH business, both wholesale and retail. But especially on the wholesale FTTH market right now, we will talk today about what is happening on the more mature markets, and meaning more mature for those markets where there is a huge penetration on the FTTH services with strong FTTH networks, and how to deal with the situation that we are living right now on the telecommunications market. That you know that in the last years it has been an important layering of the market, giving the opportunity for companies like FTTH wholesale companies to start the business. And as you can see here on the slide, I think it's commonly that one of the biggest indicators is the FTTH take-up rate, no? As a KPI of how the business is progressing, and also as a KPI for the return of the investment after a huge investment on development on the networks. And of course, there is a lot of initiatives in the community on potential joint market activities with ISPs and governments to try to convince the final customers to move on to quick and better networks like FTTH. But the question here, and next slide, please, is what, from a technology perspective, we can do to help on this business challenge, no? And what CTIOs, CTOs, or CIOs of wholesale companies can help on this business objectives, no? And this is the main challenges that we have found over the years, learning from our clients and learning from our own experience. And we have aggruppated here in three main topics. First of all is the need to streamline the ISP onboarding. As you know, a significant reduction on the onboarding times can improve sales on your network and easily help to increase revenues. And we have seen over the years a lot of companies having important times to integrate a new ISP and being able to sell over the networks. Another one is regarding the order failures. This is something we don't talk a lot about churn in the wholesale business, but as you know, it is key for our ISP clients, and it's also key for the customers. So improving the data quality in address management and having the right processes and tools to reduce order failure will definitely help to increase customer satisfaction and take up rates. And finally, operational cost. And I'm sure you are thinking, okay, this does not have direct impact on revenue, and it's true, but it has a huge impact on profitability and will help also for the health and future of the business. This is the main topics, the main challenges that we will be addressing today, and we will see how OSSs can help on facing these challenges. So back to you, Manuel. Thank you so much.
Perfect, Luis. Thank you for that introduction into the challenges. The landscape is very clear, and now we're going to see how to address them. And for that, we have our expert in TMF ODA architecture, Vítor Fernández. Vítor, welcome.
Thank you, Manuel. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my thoughts on ODA architecture from the perspective of a software architect with long expertise on FTTH wholesale industry. We have long relied on TM Forum frameworks like ATOM and SID, and while these provided a structure, they didn't always translate into fully agile and open systems. And that's why, in my opinion, the arrival of ODA made a real difference. So why is ODA a game changer? It replaces legacy monolithic systems with modular and interoperable components. And this means we can adopt new technologies, integrate with new partners, and launch services faster. As you can see in this diagram, ODA moves away from the traditional and rigid BSS OSS structure and is instead organized into key domains: party management and core commerce, which covers traditional BSS, production, which covers traditional OSS, and intelligence management, laying the foundation for a new AI-driven approach. And while ODA includes many more components, this simplified view highlights those most relevant for the wholesale market. But beyond its structure, what really stands out to me is how TM Forum has managed to unify its different perspectives into a single approach. Each component follows standardized interfaces, the open APIs, and aligns with the standardized processes of ATOM. And last but not least, enables business capabilities. But ODA is not just about technology. I think it's about a real business impact. Adopting the ODA architecture is helping operators become more agile, more efficient, or even more scalable, and something even more critical in the wholesale market. So in the next slide, I can tell you about three key benefits that ODA brings to FTTH providers. The first one, zero-touch interoperability. For wholesale companies, optimizing the onboarding of new ISPs customers or the integration of new networks or acquisitions is critical. But we don't just want to we don't want the integration to be simple. We want it automated, and ODA make it possible. The second benefit, catalog-based orchestration. When the business side wants to launch or configure a new product, IT shouldn't be a bottleneck, okay? It should be the opposite, in my opinion, enabling an agile approach. And this is only possible if we move away from hard-coded workflows, and we should adopt catalog-driven orchestration where services can be dynamically created, modified, or even deployed without friction. We need true reusability and true efficiency. And the last one, comprehensive BSS OSS integration. I think we are a wholesale company, and maybe we don't need a big and complex CRM system, but we do need certain capabilities. And ODA's granular approach lets wholesale companies choose only the components they need, keeping investment under control, while ensuring the right functionalities are in place. In my opinion, ODA is not just the technology shift, as I said before, it's a new strategy. For wholesale providers, it means more flexibility, faster time to market, and control investment. The industry is moving in this direction, and those who adapt, I think, will stay ahead. Thank you, Manu.
Thank you, Vítor, for that great insight into the ODA architecture. And now we're going to see what this looks like in practice and how these principles can be applied to real-world operations. Adamo is a great example of this. Their experience shows how the right OSS approach streamline operations, scale services, and overall improve efficiency in the highly competitive wholesale market. To walk us through it, we have Màxim Triay, Head of Wholesale IT at Adamo. But first, let's take a moment to introduce the company. Màxim, over to you.
Thanks, Manu. Well, first of all, thanks to Optare to invite me to share our experience in the FTTH market in Spain. Well, as you said, I'm managing now the systems in Adamo. I've been in Adamo for 14 years, so I was first in the network part and now more in the system side. So in Adamo, we started in 2008, more or less, in Spain. We were one of the first providing FTTH to Spain consumers. We began in public networks, shared public networks, but since the beginning, we saw that we needed to start to deploying our own network. And this is what we did since 2011, more or less. So right now we cover like 3.1 million homes in Spain. So we cover, as you can see here, more than 1,000 municipalities. And we have presence in the most important data centers in Spain. And we also have a trunk network that can connect all these areas around Spain. And one important thing is that we cover a lot of rural areas where our network is unique because there are not more operators that has a network there. So if you can move to the next slide, please, Manu. So basically, that is how our journey with Optare started. Since 2012 or 14, we saw that as we have a unique network, we could start to share our network with other operators. So we started to find different ways on how we could do that. But at the beginning, our systems were not ready for that. So we had our own brand and we could provide our own services. But when we wanted to share the network, it was difficult with the systems that we had. So we started also to begin some parts of the systems by our own. But at the end, we didn't have the experience or the knowledge of how all the operators work. So we had to do a lot of things manually and so on. So that is when we started to talk to Optare to find a way where we could do all these kind of things in a more automatic way, more scalable, and let's say more standardized. So it was a lot easier for us to do all that work, and that we could provide access to our network to all of the operators in Spain. Because at the beginning we were working only with the small operators, but our goal was to work with the big players in Spain, and we understood that for that we needed a better systems. So that is when we started to work in building what we call the AMS, which is the Address Management System, and then OSS, which is the orchestrator system that manages all the orders that we have in Adamo, retail part, but also the wholesale part. So with these systems, we are able to do all that. So I think Vítor can explain you better how this is built in Adamo. So please, Vítor.
Okay, let me tell you, when I started working in Adamo, I was amazed by the incredible achievements, in my opinion, they had made in such a short period of time. Your team, Màxim, had developed a fully functional in-house solution that really worked. For example, implementing this network activator that support multi-vendor. But many challenges, we had many challenges in the horizon. One of the most important was, I think, becoming the first wholesaler integrated as a provider of Telefónica, the largest operator in Spain. I think that was a third one. And I think we team up and plan a long-term strategy, starting with this, with establishment of this new OSS architecture. And I think we succeeded because both teams, Adamo and Optare, speak the same language and truly understand each other. And I believe this is one of our greatest strengths. We don't just provide a generic architecture. We understand the business and adapt our solutions, in this case, to Adamo needs, not the other way around. And sharing wholesale services with third parties required the highest levels of data quality, particularly in inventory management. That was one of our first projects, of our first steps. We didn't want to deploy yet another siloed system, so we centralized various sources of information into a single inventory, managing services and resources in a comprehensive way. The next step was standardizing provisioning. Again, we didn't want a complex set of provisioning flows, so we modeled a single activation flow following TMF for own best practices. And additionally, we transformed multiple interfaces for different ISPs into a single unified interface. And this enabled the automation of ISP onboarding. And once this first phase in the roadmap was completed, the workload of Màxim's team on Adamo, I think they saw a significant reduction as they no longer had to deal with daily operational issues. And I think when a team is comfortable and has time, that's when creativity emerges. And we wanted to accelerate FTTH deployments by improving end-to-end processes. And that idea became the seed for the system that Màxim said before, the AMS system, the Address Management System project. We eliminated bottlenecks by integrating all systems in the company and all the stakeholders in the process, allowing Adamo to achieve something I think is unique: the ability to accept an FTTH order even before the address is serviceable. And that's this is because of the fine-grained planning traceability that this AMS system allows. And step by step, we were able to replace this the legacy middleware layer between the CRM and the network systems. We have replaced it for a comprehensive architecture, a comprehensive and compliant ODA solution. And another point is neither BSS nor network systems, they have a big impact on the projects on times. And that's what I mean when I speak about real efficiency and scalability. Okay, maybe Màxim, you can tell us about.
So I think a bit as a result of this journey, but is as Vítor said, we still are working a lot together because there is still a lot of things that we can improve and do. But one important part is the inventory, to be able to share the network with a lot of operators. Our inventory has to be good, has to be in the systems, has to be ready to share. So this AMS allows us to do this, and also allows our partners that are doing the deployment to upload all the information in the system. So when they do, we can put all the new homes ready for service, and then right away we can start to sell on those homes and provide services. So it's very very fast for us to do all that, and we have all the inventory there in a really good way. And also it allows us to have different areas where we can have different commercial decisions. So we can share ones with one operator, with the other operator, depending on the agreements that we have with them. So the AMS helps a lot for that. And then all the part of the orchestration, as I said before, we have our own brand, but also the wholesale part. So we use this OSS to be able to orchestrate all the services. For example, for the Adamo brand, we also provide telephony, mobile, and now TV. So the OSS helps us to provide this kind of services. And maybe for some of the wholesales, we only provide fiber access. So then we only have to do that. But it allows us to work in the same way for the different operators and for our own brand itself. So at the end, what is good for us is that we have reduced it a lot, the human intervention in all this process. Basically, one operator can place an order through the systems, and the order is ready in the network in 1 or 2 minutes. So in 1 or 2 minutes, if they want, they can go to the home and start to use the service. So it's really fast, and also is really reliable. So I would say that 99% of the occasions, we don't have to do anything manual or correct any order. So this helps a lot to provide services to a lot of operators. If you can go to next slide, Manu. Nowadays, we are providing access to our network to more than 250 operators. So this means that all of these operators can place orders throughout our systems. So it's a lot of orders that we have to manage, and we do it directly in the systems without our intervention. And also what is important is that for us, if a new operator comes, it takes a few days for us and for Optare team to set it up in our system, so they can start using the APIs and placing orders in the systems, and they can start to install and use our network. And as I said, the failures in the systems are really low. So in very few orders we have to do any change because the system failed or something like that. Then it's different on the field. On the field, a lot of things can happen, but the systems work smooth in an automatic way, and this is what allowed us to grow. And basically now we are providing services to the most important players in Spain, like are the big operators in Spain. So most of them are using our network, and all the orders go through the systems in a really automatic and a smooth way. So you can continue.
Okay, thank you, Màxim, and also Vítor for your detailed explanation. I think it was really interesting. Before moving on, I would like to make a small recap on what we have learned on the collaboration with Adamo, and maybe that is also valuable for our attendees. First of all, I think one of the keys was the focus on automation and standardization, and it's something that you from Adamo were, it's a key message for you, and was a key message for you, that whatever you designed for the future of the company was focused on that, and that really helped to reduce order errors and improve the ISP onboarding rates. And second of all is the new OSS architecture that allowed relevant cost reduction, and was also key to extend the portfolio, as you already mentioned, to offer new services to the clients. And of course, wholesale business is a wholesale of integration, of working with partners, and the automation and the new OSS, I think it helped to simply integrate with third-party partners and offer new services and improve the delivery times on existing ones. I think it was a key point. So before going on, if you allow me, Manu, next slide, please, to present very quickly Optare Solutions for those that don't know about us. Optare is a consulting and engineering services company that is exclusively focused in telecommunications. We have more than 22 years of experience as a native telecom system integrator, with presence on several countries in Europe and also in Americas. And in the last 11 years, we had the pleasure to help FTTH-related CSPs and ISPs to face some of these challenges that we already explained today. So our main goal is to partner with our clients and help them to become more agile and efficient. And just to finish, Manuel, next slide, please. That's all. So before starting the Q&A session, I have seen that there is some relevant questions. I'd like to invite you to contact us in case that you need more information on how to face these challenges or maybe other challenges. And we'll be really happy to join for you for a meeting and explore ways to help you. So back to you, Manuel.
Thank you so much, Luis, for letting us know how Optare can help FTTH wholesale providers tackle their biggest challenges. And now, before we do move on to the Q&A portion, let's take just a brief moment to recap the key insights from today's session. First, we explore the challenges that FTTH wholesale providers face, with these pain points limiting growth and efficiency all across the industry. Then we discuss how TMF ODA architecture can provide the agility and the efficiency needed to optimize operations and scale effectively. And then later on, through Adamo's case study, we saw a real-world example of how adopting the right OSS approach leads to tangible results. And ultimately, we've shown why Optare is the right partner to help FTTH wholesale providers transform their system, overcome operational bottlenecks, and overall just to future-proof their businesses. And with these takeaways in mind, I think we are now ready to open the floor to your questions. We've received a couple of questions, but again, as Luis said, feel free to continue submitting them in the Q&A tab below, and we'll do our best to cover as many as possible. And I think we can begin with, let's see. One of the attendees basically asked, what does zero-touch interoperability mean in practice? So I think maybe Vítor can help us with this, right, Vítor?
Yes, I think this is a question for me. By zero-touch interoperability, I mean if you have standardized interfaces, standardized catalog, and even standardized processes, automation is possible, for example, for onboarding ISPs or including new network providers. Zero-touch interoperability means that no CapEx is needed for this kind of integrations. In practice, for example, Adamo has more than 300 of ISPs integrated. You can imagine you don't want to spend extra costs for every integration project. Okay, what you need is a standardized and automated process to interoperability or to onboard these ISPs.
Okay, thank you, Vítor. I think we can move on to the next one. Someone says, I understand that by onboarding an ISP, you mean that it can connect to your wholesale platform, provide services, or be able to bill. Does the 2 days that we mentioned before include all of this?
Maybe I also can give you an answer. Short answer, I would say yes, 2 days. But 2 days are an average estimate. For example, it depends mainly on the size of the ISP. Based on the main factor is the level of support the ISP requires. As Màxim said, we have large ISPs or maybe medium ISPs and small ISPs. For small ISPs, the onboarding time is even a matter of minutes. Okay, as all is automated, it's a matter of configuration. So the operations team has the processes of doing this. For example, configuring the security part in the identity management or configuring the catalog. Okay. But for large or medium ISPs, we are talking of extra tasks like the support for integration, maybe extended support for testing, this kind of thing. So for large operators, I think we are talking Màxim of several weeks, maybe 6 weeks or.
Yeah, it depends a bit on the other operator, how ready it is for this. But we have done this kind of scenarios with big operators in 4 weeks. Obviously, there it depends a lot also of the network configuration. I mean, it's not only the systems, so you have to do other things. There is a part that is related to ONT's compatibility. So, I mean, depending on the operator can be more complex or not. But the system side, if you follow a bit these standards that most of the operators in Spain are following, is the easiest part for us nowadays. So because in our side, normally we don't have to do a lot, but then it depends how ready is the other operator. And if they have already this kind of systems, for them is also really fast because we follow these, let's call it standards. So then it's just a matter to put a new operator in the system, define the templates that they want to use, and then they can start to put orders in the systems. But obviously there are other things that you have to set up and decide between the Adamo and the other operator.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. And someone asked, what project times are we talking about? I think this is referring, of course, to the Adamo case study. Maybe we can hint at other circumstances that may arise. Yeah, go ahead. We can answer this one.
I can explain our experience, and I think what matters here is a bit with the big operators. As I said, the fastest one that we did. This means from starting to providing real service in the network was 4 weeks, but we have been working with this, let's say, the largest operator in Spain, and then it took more time because we had to do ONT homologations in the network. We have to put support processes and a lot of different things. But normally, when we do, let's say, one of the big integrations, we think about from 4 to 8 weeks, we're able to do it. But as I said, the system side normally is not what it takes more time. It's all part of the integration that we have to do to work together. I mean, we have also to set up the support systems. We use a ticketing system that we can integrate and all these kind of things. So that is where we normally take, or we need more time.
Okay, so if none of you, Vítor and Luis, want to add anything else, we can leave it here. We want to be, as I said in the beginning, very mindful of your time. So yeah, we will leave it here. But of course, if you would like to reach out to us for anything else, of course, feel free to contact us at the email address you see there, info@optaresolutions.com. And of course, before we close, I want to extend a huge thank you to our speakers today, Luis, Vítor, Màxim, for sharing their experience and their expertise. And of course, to all of you for joining us here today. We hope this session provided valuable insights to help you navigate the FTTH wholesale landscape more efficiently. And we're looking forward to staying in touch and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.